Welcome viewers. Today's reasoning topic we are going to discuss is problem solving. In problem solving, inequalities. Generally in inequalities we have different signs. The signs like, for example, he will give like A greater than B. So the symbol here is greater than, in the same way less than, in the same way greater than or equal to, in the same way less than or equal to, or equal to. So these are the 5 signs. One is greater than, other one is smaller, so this comes under smaller, this is greater, equal, this is less than, equal to, less than, equal. So this we know, this is equal. So these are the 5 signs. Based upon these 5 signs we need to solve the problem. So in this he will give statement and then followed by conclusions. For example, let's see a problem. See here, in the statement you can see A greater than F, F less than or equal to C, C equal to D, D is less than E. So these are the statements followed by 2 conclusions. Conclusion 1 says A greater than E. We need to find out whether this conclusion is correct or not given from the given statement. In the same way, conclusion 2, F is less than E, whether this conclusion follows or not, we have to see from the given statement. See, in this always remember, for example, A is greater than B, greater than C. Obviously directly what is the conclusions I can make? The only conclusion I can make from this given statement, for example, A greater than B, B greater than C is the statement. So directly what is the conclusion that follows? The conclusion that follows here is A is greater than C. So that is the conclusion that follows. If at all, if the statement is like this, A is greater than B and B is equal to C. So what is the relation between A and C? So here also the conclusion that follows is A is greater than C, because when he said that B is equal to C, directly I can write like A is greater than C, because here B and C both are same. Whenever, for example, if the statement is A is greater than B and B is less than C, can we take the conclusion A is greater than C? Will it follows? No, because see here A is greater than B, but in this case C is greater than B. So that is the reason this kind of conclusions can't be taken. So let's see one question and try to derive from this particular statement. In this statement say that A is greater than F, F is less than or equal to C, C is equal to D and D is less than E. For example, the statement is A is greater than E. So where is A? A is here and E is here. So in this case you can say directly this is wrong. How? See here, A is greater than F, okay fine, but in the same way you can see is F is less than C. Whenever these two opposites are there, when these two, that is greater than and less than symbols follows, or greater than or less than equal to symbols follows, obviously is asking here A is greater than C. So only this one we need, only greater than we require. But you see the following conclusions. For example, you see this is greater than and less than, greater than and less than equal to. Whenever you see this one, all these particular conclusions will become wrong. So directly you remember that. So always remember that whenever all the greater than follows like this, for example, remember this is A and this is F, in between you are having B, C, D like that. So directly I can say is A is greater than F, remember that. Then only it follows. Even in one case also it is less than, even in one case also it is less than like this, then this particular conclusion will become wrong. Always for the greater than conclusion, all the statements should be also greater than. If even there is one symbol is less than, then that particular conclusion becomes wrong. In the same way, you see here A is greater than A. So between A and E, you can see the opposite symbols. So here the greater than is given, here it is less than is given. When greater than and less than both are given, obviously this conclusion becomes wrong. Now let's see the second conclusion. In the second conclusion, F is less than E or E is greater than F. See, I always focus on greater than, so that answer will become easy for me. E is greater than F. For example, E is here and F is here. Now I can say that E is greater than F. This follows 100%. Why? Because you take out this particular F, C, D, E. So F, C equal D, then followed by E. I said that, see the greater than symbols. All the greater than symbols are towards E. So here also greater than symbol towards E. Here also greater than symbol, that is also towards E. It is greater than or equal to, but it doesn't matter. But the symbol is always showing to E here, F here, and all are facing towards E. So greater than towards E. Here also greater than towards E. That is the reason conclusion 2 will become correct. For example, I can shortcut this particular statement. How? This is, I can write like F is less than or equal to C, but C is equal to D. So I can directly write here D, because both C and D are equal. So directly I can write D here. Now D is less than E. So directly here you take now E and F. There are two symbols, again greater than symbol, greater than or equal to symbol. But what he is asking? Only greater symbol. So greater symbol is there in the both the cases. Here also greater symbol is there, here also greater symbol is there. So here E and F. That is the reason conclusion 2 follows. So your answer is only conclusion 2 is the answer. See, thus concept is very simple. What is that concept? If greater than is phasing, all the greater thans are phasing like this, greater than, greater than, greater than, greater than. Remember here this is X and this is Y. So obviously X is greater than Y. Even if one particular symbol is opposite, for example like this, even if one symbol is opposite, that is one is greater than, other one is less than, obviously this kind of conclusion becomes wrong. Always for greater than, all the symbols should be towards one side, all should be greater than only, then only our conclusion becomes correct. See here, in this case there are two statements are given. One is M greater than or equal to P, P is less than H. In the same way, V is greater than T and T is equal to M. So whenever you see this kind of questions, you check for the common letter. What is the common letter in these both the statements? The common letter is M here. Here also the common letter is M. So when you see these two common letters, try to place M only, you take only one M out of these two particular statements. Let's see how it is. See here, directly I am writing this statement 1. M greater than or equal P less than H. See here, where is M? M is here. So you have to start from here. So you write this particular statement from here onwards. So let's see this one. So what the statement is saying? M is equal to T. So write down here, M is equal to T. Another one is T is less than V. So T is less than V. See here, T is less than V. Here also T is less than V. So just I am converting. So T is less than V. So I am converting two statements into single statement to get the answer fast. So now after converting the two statements into one statement, now let's see the conclusions, whether it follows or not. See the first conclusion, V is greater than P. So you check two letters, here V and here P. Now you tell me whether V is greater than P, yes or no? Yes. Why? Because here see the symbols. This is greater symbol is towards V. Here also greater symbol is towards V. So when two greater symbols are showing towards V, then obviously that particular conclusion becomes correct. Now see second conclusion. In the second conclusion, T and H, T is greater than or equal H he is asking. So let's check where is this particular T. So T and followed by H. The moment you see here, these two symbols, this is greater symbol towards H and this is lesser symbol away from T. So this is lesser symbol towards T and here you have a greater symbol towards C. So one is greater symbol, other one is the lesser symbol. Obviously one greater symbol and one lesser symbol, this particular conclusion becomes wrong. So answer is only conclusion 1 is true. Here also we have two statements, but here he gave 4 conclusions. So let's see these particular statements. I already said that whenever you have two statements, take out the common letter between these two statements. From the common letter you convert into single statement. For example, if you these two particular statements, the only letter that is common is D. So here D is there, here also you are having D. So D is the common letter. By taking D as common, you convert the two statements into a single statement. Let's see this. Statement 1 says A is greater than B, B is equal to C, C is greater than D. Now take the common letter. For the common here D. So from D you started writing. So D is equal to H, H is greater than or equal to G. So H is greater than or equal to G. Then followed by G is less than or equal to V. So G is less than or equal to V. So now I converted two statements into single statement. Let's see that whether the conclusions are correct or wrong. See the first conclusion. C is greater than or equal to D. So check the letters of C and D. So you are having C here, you are having D here. So directly that C is greater than or equal to D. Here is C is greater than or equal to D. Obviously conclusion 1 is correct. Let's check the conclusion 2. In conclusion 2 says A is greater than H. See the two letters A here and H is here, and is saying that greater than. Whenever you see the greater than, all the symbols should be greater than. So here greater than, correct. Here also you are having greater than or equal to, then also correct. Then you are having equal to H. So equal is there, doesn't matter, because B is equal to C, C is greater than or equal to D means directly I can say that B is greater than or equal to D, because in place of C I can write B here also. So it doesn't matter. So equal means showing same, so it doesn't matter. But see here in this case, A is greater than H, yes, greater than symbol here, here also greater than symbol, but no less than symbol till H. So here also conclusion 2 is correct. Let's take the conclusion 3. In conclusion 3, B is greater than or equal to G. So take the two letters B and followed by G here. Now we can say that he is asking B is greater than or equal. See in this case, the symbol greater than or equal, here equal symbol is there. Whenever equal symbol is there, you can directly write B here, it doesn't matter. Here also whenever you are having the symbol D, you can directly write the symbol H here. So it doesn't matter, right? So or simply I can say that I can convert this entire symbol into B. So in place of C I can write directly B, because he is asking between B and G. So directly, so in place of C I can write B. So B is greater than or equal to D. In place of D I can write H. Why I can write H? Because D is equal to H. So directly I can write here H. Now I can see that after H it is greater than or equal to G. So even the equal is there, you just ignore them, it doesn't matter. But now you see that in this particular statement, B is greater than or equal to H, H is greater than or equal to G. Obviously B is greater than or equal to G. So this particular statement also becomes, this particular conclusion also becomes correct. Now let's see the last conclusion, that is C is less than V or V is greater than C. So V is here and C is here. It is asking V is greater than C. So see here V greater symbol, but you can see that in between V and G there is greater symbol as well as less than symbol. When in between C and V you have two opposite signs, that is greater than and less than, that is greater than and less than. Obviously, whenever you see both the symbols, this particular conclusion becomes wrong. So our answer will be conclusion 1, 2 and 3. So our answer is option C, that is only 1, 2 and 3 are true. See, in this particular question, there are two statements are given. So whenever two statements are given, you convert the two statements into single statement. To convert the two statements into single statement, what is the first thing we need to do? Find out the common. What is the common here? Q is the common. Here also Q is the common. So by taking this common, you convert the two statements into single statement. So M is less than or equal to N. N is less than L. L is greater than or equal to Q. See here Q. Now you start from here Q. Now Q is less than or equal to T. So Q is less than or equal to T, and T is less than R, and T is less than R. So just T is less than R. You convert these two statements into single statement. Now let's check the conclusions. Now he is asking the relation between R and L. So R is greater than or equal to L. So where is R? R is here. And where is L? L is here. So it is saying that R is greater than or equal to L. So towards R means R is here. All the symbols should be greater than towards, greater than or equal towards R. Then only that particular conclusion becomes correct. But what is the problem here? The problem here is here greater than symbol, here greater than symbol, but you can see here less than symbol. So you can see two opposite symbols. Whenever you see the opposite symbols in between L and R, obviously this conclusion becomes wrong. See the next conclusion, that is N is greater than or equal to T, or T is less than or equal to N. So he is asking the relation between T and N. So when the relation between T and N, so now in this case T is greater than or equal to N. So now between the T, all the symbols should be greater than or equal, greater than or equal and greater than or equal. Then only our conclusion becomes correct. But what is the problem here? Between T and N, there are opposite symbols are there. So here you have two opposite symbols. So whenever you see two opposite symbols, this particular conclusion also becomes wrong. Now let's see the third conclusion. L is greater than M. So you are having L and you are having M. So you are having L and M. And in between you are having a greater symbol. So you are having greater symbol and you are having greater than or equal symbol between L and L. So L is greater than M. Obviously L is greater here, L is greater here also. That is the reason conclusion 3 is correct, because see here the symbols are always towards L. So greater than symbol towards L, here also greater than or equal to symbol towards L. Then that particular conclusion becomes correct. Now let's see the fourth conclusion, that is R is greater than or equal to M. So check the two symbols, one is R, other one is M. So in between R and M, R is greater than or M means towards R all should be greater. Here also greater, here also should be greater. Here also it should be greater, here also it should be greater, and then all should be is equal only. But this is not the case. This should be the case. But here both, you see in the statement, one is greater, other one is lesser. For example, you see here, it exactly becomes, in this case, it becomes towards opposite. So the moment you see these two are opposite, this particular conclusion will not follow. So our answer is only 3 is true, remaining all are false. In this case, there are many symbols are there. In the following questions, the symbols, so these are the symbols, one is that is #, %, %, C are used with the following meaning. So what exactly is saying means the symbol A as B means A is greater than B. That's what it's saying. So obviously this particular symbol becomes A is greater than B means this symbol represents greater than. This symbol represents greater than. In the same way, we have A star B. So this star represents A star B means A is smaller than B. So A is smaller. So this is the smaller symbol. In the same way, percent means A is equal to B. Whenever you have this symbol percent, so obviously this symbol indicates this is equal. Other one is at the rate. So at the rate symbol means A is greater than equal to B. So at the rate represents greater than or equal to B. Finally, this symbol represents smaller than equal to B. So it is smaller than or equal to B. So directly these are the symbols. The symbols represents greater than or less than. So this is the all the directions that is given. So after following these directions, now see the statement. Even the statement is also in symbols. So you convert these symbols into greater than and less than. So how can I write this particular statement? The statement is in between S, P, Q and R. So S, C, P means the symbol C represents less than or equal to P. Now P at the rate Q, so at the rate symbol represents greater than or equal symbol. Now this hash symbol represents only greater than. Okay, so these are the statements. So this statement is converted now into greater than and lesser than. Now see the conclusion. What is the conclusion? S at the rate R. So S at the rate R means this particular conclusion is S is greater than or equal to R. And what about the conclusion? 2 R star P. So R star means less than. So R is less than P. Now see here, after converting these particular statements and conclusions into greater than and less than or equal form, now see the conclusions now. S and R, he is saying that S is greater than or equal to R. See the two symbols, S here, R here. And what is the greater than? Should be always towards yes. But see here, greater than, here it is less than, but it is here greater than. So obviously this particular conclusion becomes wrong. Now see the second conclusion, that is P is greater than R. So where is P and R? You can see here, here is P, here we have R. Now the relation between P and R, he is saying that P is greater than R. So all the symbols should be greater symbols towards P. So P greater than or equal to Q and Q is R, he is saying. We know that greater than symbols. Here also you are having greater symbol towards P. Here also you have greater symbol towards P. Obviously this conclusion 2 becomes correct. So in this case the answer is only conclusion 2 is correct and conclusion 1 is wrong. This type of questions generally gives in the exam to have more time, to time waste. Simply we can say it's like a time waste of time. Now the examiner wants to solve this question very fast. So that is the reason to prolong your time this kind of questions are given in the exam. Here also you have lot of symbols and again see the symbols represents whether it is greater than or less than. But what is the difference from the previous question is, in this case he used the symbol not. Here also he used the symbol not. He is asking the symbols not. So whenever you see the symbols not, what you need to do? So let's see this one. What the first symbol says that? First symbol says that P symbol Q means P is not greater than Q. So what is meant by P is not greater than Q? P is not greater means it should be less than or equal to. P is not greater than Q means P is less than or equal to. Now see the P at the rate Q. What is the at the rate symbol represents? At the rate symbol means P is not greater than or equal to Q. He is saying that P is not greater than or equal to Q means P is less than Q. See here, P is less than Q. P is not greater than or equal to Q means P is less than Q. That is the conclusion. Now see here $Q. What is the dollar symbol represents? So the dollar symbol means P is not smaller than Q. P is not smaller than Q means P is greater than or equal to Q. So, what is the conclusion we can say? Whenever we say that P is not smaller than Q means P is greater or equal to Q. Next we have percent symbol. So, this percent symbol represents P is not smaller than or greater than Q. So, it is neither smaller nor greater. So, P is not smaller than or greater than Q. So, directly I can write P is equal to Q. So, he is saying that P is neither smaller than or greater than Q means P is equal to Q. Now, finally, we have this as symbol. P is neither smaller than or equal to Q. P is neither smaller than or equal to Q means P is greater than Q. So, this symbol represents greater than. So, you have to be careful with the word not. Not ante kaadu అని అర్థం. కాదు అన్నట్టు మనం ఆపోజిట్ లో తీసుకోవాలి. P is not greater than Q. Not greater than అన్నాడు కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ greater than తీసుకోకూడదు. కాబట్టి smaller than or equal to తీసుకుంటున్నాం. So, we are taking like that. See, now after we find out the symbols into greater than and less than forms, now you convert these statements because the statements are also given in the symbols. Now is $P$K, K#E, E symbol W. So, the symbol is between P, K, E and W, right. Now, PK, there is a dollar symbol. So, what is the dollar? Dollar represents greater than or equal to. Now, K and E, that is ash symbol. So, ash indicates this greater symbol. So, K is greater than E. Now, E and W. So, the symbol is this cap symbol. So, obviously between E and W. So, E is less than or equal to W. See the conclusions here. What are the conclusions? W ash K. So, and what is the symbol of this ash? That is greater than. So, this is one conclusion. What is the second conclusion? E and P. So, E at the rate P. So, at the rate symbol is less than. So, this is less than. Now, from this statement, let us find out the conclusions. What is the relation? Relation is between W and K. So, where is W? W is here and K is here. And he is saying that W is greater than K. See, between W and K, you have two opposite symbols. One is greater than, other one is less than. So, when you have two symbols, obviously this conclusion becomes wrong. So, this conclusion is wrong. See the next conclusion. The relation is between E and P. It says that P is greater than E. Now, see the relation between P and E. So, you are having P here, you are having E here. And he is saying P is greater than E and all the greater symbols are towards P. All the greater symbols are towards P. So, here also greater symbol is towards P. So, P is greater than E. This particular conclusion is correct. So, our answer will be only conclusion 2 follows. In today's episode, we saw problem solving questions. In problem solving, we saw about inequalities. Inequalities, he will give questions based upon symbols like greater than equal, less than equal and equal to. Based upon these signs from the statements, we have to take out the conclusions. Thank you.